SCP-6273 is called the Empty Skin, and all I know about it is it's very mysterious. So, the music that's playing right now, if you listen to it, that is the OST from Deja, an NES game or a Nintendo game that I used to play a long time ago, and it's got like the most detective, cliche sounding vibe that you can think of. And a little while back, somebody asked me that they loved the music that I play in the intros and the outros, and that's what it was inspired by. So if you're listening today, this is what it is. I don't usually play it because technically it's not for the game. I mean, it's for the game and I'm not playing the game, but at any rate, guys, this one's by the Exploring series and it's pretty long. It's like 40 minutes, but we're going to react to it, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the Exploring series. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos, and let's get into this one.
SCP-6273, the Empty Skin. Generally, when we think of deaths within the SCP universe, it's due to some sort of large-scale disastrous event caused by anomalies.
Yes.
With death tolls ranging in the hundreds to thousands to billions.
The end-of-world scenarios.
While these sort of events are definitely a concern for the average person living in this universe, there are also many anomalies that affect individuals, quietly and without warning. Anomalies that can kill a person in their own home, leaving no trace behind, forcing the Foundation to investigate a phenomenon that has little chance of being stopped. SCP-6273 is one such phenomenon, causing the deaths of a number of people with little linking them all together. One man is then tasked with investigating it, and as usual, he'll find more than he bargained for.
This is our detective, I suppose.
A couple of notes before we begin, however.
Alright.
One is that this SCP is technically part of a broader mini-series known as Harbinger 2, which consists of 10 loosely connected SCPs.
Okay.
All of them have something to do with the concept of nothingness, but you don't need to be aware of the others to appreciate any of them.
Okay.
Secondly, this SCP contains a fair number of swears, which I will not be censoring.
Okay.
With that, let's begin.
For those of you that don't like it, just
SCP-6273 is a phenomenon in which a human is rendered devoid of all bodily components except for their skin, hair, and nails via unknown means. The remaining tissue is left largely intact, although portions of the hypodermis, the bottom layer of skin, are expected to be incomplete.
Okay.
The remainder of the document contains the investigation of this phenomenon by Agent Spencer Donbury, assisted by an AI known as Flanagan, who is electronically transcribing his speech.
Okay.
March 3rd. Testing, testing. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Peter Piper picked a peck of rubber baby buggy bumpers.
What?
Dalek. Jaffa cakes.
Voice exercises, I guess.
Mr. Blobby of Crinkly Bottom. Fuck, this thing's good. Wait, can I swear on these? Flanagan, delete log. I'm sorry, your credentials are insufficient for this request.
Wow.
Files may only be deleted by your designated Reza liaison. Flanagan, redact fuck. I'm sorry, I don't recognize that command. Oh, so you can wrap a word in quotes without being told, but redaction? No, too complicated. Sure, fuck it. This is Agent Donbury. It's the 3rd of March. I've been assigned to profile an anomaly known as SCP-6273. Yes, just me. All by myself this time. Well, I've got Flanagan, but somehow that just makes me feel more alone. Supposedly, given my level of expertise, this type of assignment shouldn't warrant additional manpower. Not my cup of tea, but it's my first real assignment in months, so I can't complain.
Yeah, you gotta work, man. Man's gotta eat.
Hang on. Flanagan, did you put fucking quotes on the word expertise? I'm sorry. I don't recognize that query. Fucking thing.
I love it, dude.
Overseers are trying to push it as an every man's glass on, but in reality, it's more of an app than an AI. Can't even recognize its own voice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It
my
sounds
job
like
is to
it
check for patterns and find some rhyme and reason behind all the madness. Contrary to popular belief, anomalous incidents like these are never truly random.
Mm.
Now, whenever I say that, people always try to argue with me by bringing up spontaneous combustion. And I always get a kick out of telling them it's not spontaneous at all.
Somebody
Actually
lit
spread
the
by
fire.
rats. The more you know.
Mm.
Haven't gotten much to work with on SCP-6273 so far. The number of confirmed victims to date is, and I quote, somewhere between 35 and 2,000.
Wow, that's a big range.
Quite
huh?
helpful. Apparently my clearance level isn't high enough to be told the actual numbers, but
Wow.
no comment on that rubbish.
Can you imagine not knowing, like,
In
being
any
withheld
case, I've no doubt
so
those
much
numbers
info
are ridiculously
being withheld?
lowballed, given the fact that this thing already has a full SCP designation, despite the Foundation having no idea what the hell it even is.
Yeah, it's not nearly 35, right?
Luckily for me, there's a fresh victim waiting to be examined. Can't get near until Prelim ID finishes their bit, though hopefully that won't take long. I'm anxious to see these empty people for myself.
Oh, are you? It's,
March 4th.
I mean,
Donbury, 4th of March.
they don't have any organs or
I just
anything.
arrived at the scene of the most recent manifestation. D classes have already swept the place and ruled out any immediate environmental hazards, so it should be safe to look around.
Send in the D class.
Victim is a 42-year-old female. She's in bed. Cover's still drawn. One hand's beneath her pillow, so she either died in her sleep or was arranged to look that way.
Okay.
The file I was given, all half a page of it, described the victims as being devoid of bodily contents. Turns out that pretty well sums it up.
Yeah?
She's just skin and hair. One of the Class D shits said she looks like a deflated sex doll, but I don't think that's quite right. Skin's all dry and rigid, yet not shriveled.
Wow.
The tissue seems almost mummified, even though she was seen alive mere days ago.
Right.
Fingertip gave a crisp little snap when I bent it, but took a decent bit of wriggling before it actually came off.
Is it rigor mortis?
I just realized what this reminds me of. Pressed flowers. My grandmother used to have a whole bunch framed up in her house.
Oh, when you put them in books, like?
That's what the victim
and
looks
preserve
like.
them?
All pressed flat into a silhouette of skin.
That's gotta
There's
be
an
weird
artful
looking,
element
huh?
to it. Almost maybe deliberately so?
I love the art, man.
Too
I
early to
love
say.
it.
No signs of forced entry. The victim was a paranoid shut-in. Reinforced doors, bars on the windows, whole kit and caboodle.
Wow.
So if anything made its way inside, it can either teleport or walk through walls.
Or it was, no, it
Maybe
wasn't
the lady
let
was
in.
right to be paranoid.
It wouldn't have been a guest because she was sleeping, right?
March
It's not like she
7th.
opened the door for it.
Back at the office. Not gonna bother with the date anymore. It
Okay.
seems Flanagan automatically appends it to every entry. How handy.
Yeah.
I'm still
The card
arguing
could
with the
use
powers
this.
that be for a concrete victim count, but thankfully I was at least approved to have a few hundred of the victims' medical and communication records declassified for me.
It's just definitely more than 35.
Geographically, the victims are all over the place. It's a global phenomenon,
Wow.
and the number of incidents in any given region seems to line up proportionally with population sizes. Generally, that would indicate there's no one particular entity responsible for the phenomenon.
Multiple instances.
However, I still have reason to believe that there is some sort of observable and intelligent force at work here.
Hmm.
The bars on the victim's windows yesterday were what got me thinking. I asked Flanagan to compare the psychiatric history on all our victims' medical records and report any commonalities. Turns out it can't actually do that, which is why I've had to spend the last few days skimming through the files manually. Virtually every one of our targets had some
glorified,
form of generalized anxiety, if not outright paranoid schizophrenia.
Stenographer.
Even the ones without formal diagnosis had plenty of text messages and social media posts that implied as much.
Okay.
These people definitely felt something coming. even if they didn't know precisely what it was. Naturally, though, anxiety alone doesn't prove anything.
No.
Who doesn't have reason to be anxious these days?
Even
Fuck,
I
I'm
get
more than a
anxiety.
little anxious and paranoid myself after working this job.
Some stuff messes with me too. I'll give y'all an example. Like when we were hiring contractors, I've been screwed so many times by contractors in my life, and I haven't learned my lesson all the way because I'm still too trusting. Sometimes even when I get a hold of a good one and something gets like derailed, you know what I mean? And normal means like not being able to work for an extended amount of time for bad weather, for instance. If I get any kind of an excuse, sometimes my mind just wanders to, man, I wonder if these guys are trying to screw me. You know what I mean? That's just me being paranoid due to overexposure over a long period of time of bad circumstance, you know, and being screwed. It's anxiety. I guess that's why they call it that.
March 10th. Another victim, closer to home this time. 36-year-old named Gary Stone blew through Colchester a couple of days ago. Quite literally, in fact. Wind carried his remains halfway across town like a kite with a broken string.
God! Can you imagine?
Of witnesses. Whole fiasco gave info containment quite the headache, from what I understand.
Yeah.
They haven't yet figured out where the incident originated,
Crop dust
but
and
based on the direction of the wind, Stone would have had to have been miles from home to start with.
Wow.
Nobody seems to know what he had been doing out there. The best clue we have is a smartphone photo the victim took the night before he stopped showing up for work. Flanagan append stone.jpg to the transcript. If you look closely, there's a person on the right, barely visible. Was Stone meeting this person or simply suspicious of them? That's the next question I'd like answered. March 11th. I'm here with a friend of the deceased, ex-wife. Ex-wife, sorry. Would you please introduce yourself? Do I speak directly into the phone? It's got a very good mic on it. Just speak naturally. Pretend you aren't even being recorded.
It's super
My name
AI.
is Pamela Stone. Gary and I were married about 10 years, and we divorced 3 years back. Thank you.
Are all of these
When did you
victims
last see the
alone?
deceased?
They all die alone.
It's been 2 weeks. If I remember correctly, I was helping him with his taxes again. Oh, look. Your phone started using my name after I introduced myself. How clever.
Yeah.
Almost spooky, isn't it?
It's a good app, okay?
It's something, certainly.
Flanagan.
You said you still helped the deceased with his taxes, even after you divorced. It wasn't the messiest split. Relatively painless.
Clean, just
I simply wanted to live my own life, and I knew I could do better, and it didn't help that I didn't hate him or anything like that. I can't be married to him, but we aren't ugly with each other. Weren't.
some
I
couples are
apologize.
like that, man.
Tenses are hard right now. It's fine. Please continue. You mean talking about our relationship? If I'm being honest, when it comes to stuff like helping him with his taxes, most of why I do it is because I ended up with our daughter. So you help him out of guilt. Not guilt. Please understand, I don't feel guilty about leaving him or getting custody of Keeley. It's pity, maybe?
Oh, gosh.
God, I know this sounds awful, but you know how sometimes you see a sad, dirty animal and you want to help it, but you'd never let it into your house?
Oh, wow.
That's how I felt about Gary. At least, in the end.
Yeah.
There was a time when we were happy, I swear. Do you know anything about his movements around the time he went missing? I expect he was at home the whole time. There and work. Gary rarely went out. Didn't really have anyone else close to him either, which is part of why he works so much.
No friends.
Keeley had wanted to visit that weekend, but it was his birthday. I see.
Wow.
He already had plans. Meeting with someone else, perhaps? No, God, no. Gary had this thing with birthdays.
Okay.
What kind of thing? He was always extremely reclusive around that time. More than usual, I mean.
Okay.
He'd shut all the windows and blinds and yell at anyone who tried to open them. And if you tried to open the front door while he was in the room with you, it was a whole scene.
Wow.
And that's not the half of it. Terrible.
No wonder she couldn't.
Did he
live
ever
with him.
provide
He
an
seemed
explanation
weird.
for that behavior? It was something from his childhood, back when he was 5 or 6. A birthday party gone wrong or something. We
Huh.
only ever talked about it once.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the anomaly.
I got used to it after the first couple years. We'd just celebrated home. Sometimes I'd be able to drag him out and have fun, but only after a few days had passed.
Wow.
Are you okay, Agent Donbury? I'm fine. Please, try to remember. What happened at your husband's childhood birthday party? Let's see. I think there was a girl? Yes, he didn't know her. She just showed up uninvited. That scared him, and when he went to get his mother, she was gone.
Okay.
And this incident still bothered him in his adult years. Odd, I know. I told him it was probably a neighborhood kid who wandered in, or somebody's sibling tagging along.
It
Something
might
like
be
that.
More than a coincidence.
For
man.
whatever reason, though, it simply stuck with him.
Mhm.
To be
Maybe he
fair,
saw it
being a
around his
kid is
birthday.
like that sometimes, right? We don't choose what haunts us. Indeed.
Dang,
I think that's
deep.
all we need today, Miss Stone.
It's true, man. It's true.
Thank you for your time. Don't mention it. I hope it helps. March 12th. Fragapanophobia. The fear of birthdays.
What?
Not getting older, mind you.
What?
Birthdays. That's the kind of thing I like to hear. It's strange.
Yeah.
Strange is good. Strange is useful. Turns out Mr. Stone wasn't the only one of our victims with that particular condition either.
Ah.
Can't be a coincidence. Fear
Is
of
that
being
the
watched
little
was still the
girl?
most prevalent phobia among
Look at
them,
that
of course,
picture.
but I wouldn't be surprised if the two are connected.
Creepy.
That brings me to my next discovery. In every incident report I've been given, the possible time frame when it may have occurred has always overlapped with the corresponding victim's date of birth. None of the victims were ever seen alive after their most recent birthday. That has to be when it happens.
So it is.
Nobody's
birthday
ever
related.
witnessed the phenomenon in progress either, so that means every
always
victim was
alone.
alone on their birthday when they died.
Right.
Sad, but relatable.
It's horrible.
Sorry,
He said
I shouldn't have said
relatable,
died
man.
earlier. We don't know for sure if they're dead.
Oh.
I'd like to think they are, but the
I mean-
possibility has to be considered that they may still be alive somewhere,
Oh
Albeit-
gosh. Yeah.
sans skin. Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Poor meaty fucks.
Oh God.
Also of note, victims range in age from 5 to 52, though the majority of victims fall between their early teens and mid-40s. Wish I had a larger sample size to work with, but even at this scale you'd expect some elderly victims here and there.
I wonder what triggers it.
Does youth make a person more susceptible?
Right.
More of a target? March 19th.
Hmm.
Did more interviews. As I suspected, the victims seemed to fit the same general profile.
Reclusive.
Lonely birthday celebrants who felt like something was after them.
Hmm.
Still too many variables, though. Some of the victims claimed they were being stalked by doppelgangers, for example.
Oh.
One guy had every mirror in his house covered by a sheet.
Oh yeah.
But why does that apply to some victims and not others? Based on his ex's description, Gary Stone sounded like he was afraid of a little girl.
Yeah.
If he was so scared, why was he so far from home on the night he disappeared?
Definitely not a doppelganger.
Maybe the prime anomaly induces a general state of paranoia that manifests differently in each victim. Or maybe I'm on the wrong track entirely.
Hard to say.
Maybe the prime anomaly isn't causing paranoia, but is simply attracted to it. I've been looking into folklore, too. Lots of imps and ghouls that show up once a year. Not so many associated with birthdays.
Okay.
Some occult types might hunt children and young adults to drain their youth, but those spells are dramatically less potent when the victim is older than 30.
Okay. So that would
Why is the cutoff
alienate
52?
them. Right.
Is it a cult? Aliens? It's hardly even worth thinking about at this point. If I can't pin down why these specific people were affected, I'm just going to keep going in circles.
I love the way this is written, man.
Flanagan, what
really
do all
awesome.
the victims have in common? I'm sorry, I don't recognize that query. Flanagan, what's the fucking point of you? My name is Flanagan, your virtual Foundation assistant. I can record notes, format interviews, set reminders, and more. Just say
He's
the
an
word.
app, dude. He's not an AI.
Flanagan, do I have any reminders? Your mother's birthday is in 3 days.
Oh, God.
Shit. I'd better keep her company or I'll spend all day worrying she'll end up as a skin suit. Flanagan, book me a flight to Claire. Sure thing. I have reserved economy seat 31 aboard Jollycorn Air Flight 683 to Shannon Airport, departing on the 2nd of March at 3:20 a.m.
That's pretty
Fuck
convenient.
you too, Flans. April 14th.
That's pretty convenient, man.
Good morning, Agent Donbury.
It's like super Alexa.
What the hell? Good morning, Agent Donbury. I heard you the first time. Now answer me, Flanagan, what the hell? It has been 25 days since your last voice note. Yes, it has.
What?
I don't remember asking for the reminder, nor the wake-up call for that matter.
Wow.
It seemed
25 days.
prudent to remind you. Sure, thanks. May 1st. Good morning, Agent Donbury. Shut the fuck up. Would you like to record a voice note? Not really. Many software engineers recommend a technique known as rubber duck debugging, whereby solutions are reached by talking through the problem with someone else. Fascinating. Please feel free to discuss the case with me, Agent Donbury. Oh, so you think you can just go and start acting like a fucking person and expect me to go along with it? Let's cut the bullshit, Flans. Command just wants to hear why I'm not making any progress.
Right.
Quite the opposite. They think you've made a lot of progress. If you're suggesting I'm stupid enough to believe they think so highly of me... It seems prudent to be frank with you, Agent Donbury. You are under the impression that the Foundation would take you off the case if you shared your findings. Perhaps you feel you are in danger, and that you are better able to protect yourself by retaining this assignment. If you believe that this is the best way to remain alive, the Foundation will support your decision. I am not here to get in your way, Agent Donbury. Motherfucking... Please remain calm, Agent Donbury. Oh, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and all the saints. I'm sorry. It seemed prudent to... You knew. You knew from the start. Knew what, Agent Donbury? If you play dumb with me for one more second, I swear I will self-terminate, and you'll never see the end of this little experiment of yours. Please tell me what you think I know, Agent Donbury. I will, with absolute sincerity, verify or deny any assumptions you have made. Fine.
What the hell's going on?
You knew the connection between the victims from the start. 1 in 12,000 births at best. That's not a coincidence. I'm sorry. I cannot assess such vagaries. Please elaborate. The case was still on my mind when I went to see my mother. And before you say anything, I didn't bring up any details that require her brain getting scrambled. I only happened to mention the pressed flowers my grandmother had on display around her house. Turns out Mom made those herself. Now, why don't you suppose we kept any at our own house? What do you think she told me? I'm sorry. It's not my place to speculate. You goddamn know already. It all reminded her of that thing that might have been my sibling. The dead paper doll they peeled off my placenta. Fetus fucking papyraceous. I'm sure you prefer the clinical term, right?
He had a twin.
My own goddamn twin, pressed between me and the uterine wall the way you'd flatten a daisy between two dictionaries. Please, Agent, there's no need. I was the first person she ever told. But you've known for a long time. You knew I fit the pattern. Your computer brain probably saw the connection between the victims the nanosecond you got a hold of their medical records. The vanishing twin, the paranoia, the fucking birthday trauma that even I didn't remember until all this stirred it up. The Foundation assigned me to this case because they knew I was going to be a victim. Wanted to see how it would all shake out. Care to verify or deny that? For the sake of transparency, I will clarify that we did not have concrete evidence of any unusual incidents taking place on a birthday of yours. However, I can verify that the characteristics you share with previous victims helped us determine it is a near certainty you will be affected by SCP-6273 sometime this year. Fuck you. Please understand that endangering you was not our objective. To the contrary, we thought it prudent to offer you the chance to discover a means to survive. If my prediction that you will be affected by the SCP-6273 phenomenon should prove correct, such an event will transpire regardless of whether you were made aware of it beforehand. Step off the high ground before you hurt yourself.
Yeah, why didn't they just tell us?
If you honestly thought there was a chance I'd beat this, you wouldn't have left me to do the job alone.
Exactly.
You would have given me all the information you had straight from the outset, instead of making me waste my last days playing catch-up. Cards on the table, Flans. You lot never believed in me. A man of my expertise isn't worth trying to save.
It's not expertise.
I'm sorry. Perhaps your expertise was underestimated. There's not much time, Agent Donbury. How you proceed from here is entirely up to you. Fuck off, Flanagan. Just fuck off. You want to know how I'm proceeding? I'm closing this case, and I don't want to hear another word from you while I do it. Very well, Agent. This is the last time I will speak to you. Goodbye. Good luck, too. I said fuck off, Flanagan. May 2nd. This is Agent Spencer Donbury. It's the 2nd of May, and today is my birthday. Now that we've cleared the air, I may as well share what I know. Flan was right about one thing, at least. When I realized I was connected to the anomaly, I kept my gob shut, because I didn't want to be taken off the case and have my brain wiped.
Right. I don't blame you, dude.
Guess that's not a concern anymore.
Foundation.
As satisfying as it would be to flip off the Foundation and walk backward into oblivion, I want my death to mean something. I'm gonna figure this thing out, and by God, we are going to contain the hell out of it.
Good plan, man.
It's 5 past midnight. I'm parked out at the edge of the woods. Not a soul in sight. Didn't want to be in a spot where someone might stumble on my body by accident. I'm sure Flanagan will waste no time in telling the Foundation where to find me.
That's right.
I considered waiting at home, but it's too beautiful a night to die indoors. If I die, that is. Though, given that the anomaly is most likely the ghost of my unborn twin or some such tomfuckery, I'm pretty sure it means to kill me.
Right.
Once I realized the anomaly is connected to the victim's birth, everything fell into place. The reason I struggled to figure out why the oldest victim was 52 was because I was too focused on death. It's about life.
Right.
Somehow the prime anomaly knows how long the victim is meant to live, and it intervenes halfway through their expected lifespan. If you double the age of every victim and compare it to a chart of the average life expectancy, it lines up near perfectly.
Wow.
That one poor bastard would have lived to be 104. I expect
Pretty
my
long,
sibling
man.
will be spectral in nature, given that the entities can appear inside a locked room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's literally my dead sibling, but that's how the prime anomaly presents itself to its victims. Some people saw doppelgangers because
Right.
they would have
They're
been
twins.
identical twins.
Yeah. But
Some, like Gary Stone's, would have been fraternal. I don't know about mine. For me, it was just a shape at my bedroom window watching me sleep. Same night every year.
Mm.
Eventually, I trained myself not to open my eyes after I got into bed.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Fuck me. Something moved. I swear, if it's a hiker. It's not a hiker. It seems male in build. Heavily dressed. Not walking right. The way it moves, it's,
He's describing it. That's
it's
awesome.
like in the cartoons where there's two kids in a trench coat, except it's fast. Way too fucking fast. Approaching from the tree line on my right-hand side. Seems like it's going out of its way to avoid the headlights. Fuck! It just came flying apart. The clothes did, I mean, and something... It's just a skin. It's still fucking flat. Like a life-size paper doll.
Oh my god.
Slid right out of its clothes like it was fed up with them. Harder to see it on the ground, but it'll reach the car any second. I can't see it anymore. I think it's under the car.
Wow.
I'm turning off the engine in case it tries to talk. Can it even talk? Saints alive. No clue what the rules are for this one.
No.
Elements of necromancy here, but that's only animation of the dead. It shouldn't have grown. That's more in line with true reanimation, though it wouldn't have been left looking like that unless they invented 8 new ways to botch it.
Yeah.
Don't think it's spectral anymore. Did it just squeeze itself into that lady's house somehow?
Oh my god.
Slide under her door,
It's
or come down the
corporeal.
chimney like Father fucking Christmas? Fucking bloody fuck! Turn the engine back on. I left one of the windows open just a crack. Not
so it
anymore.
Could get in? No.
Don't think it slipped in. How's it gonna get in now? Don't want to assume I've beaten it yet. Are you okay, Agent Donbury? Not the fucking time, Flanagan.
Flanagan!
No, it was something from his childhood. Somebody's sibling tagging along. Wait. I recognize this. This is from my interview with Stone. How clever. You're talking through the phone. Through Flanagan. Almost spooky, isn't it? Of course you can do that. Naturally.
Oh, snap.
Makes as much sense as anything else.
This is talking through
Odd,
Flanagan.
I know. And of course you'd be cheeky. Talking about our relationship? What is there to say? You died in the womb, love. I suppose you want revenge for that. As if it's my fault, or anyone else's for that matter. I didn't hate him or anything like that. Then why are you here? Why do these things keep happening to people like us?
Right.
Are you okay, Agent Donbury? What? Are you okay, Agent Donbury? I'm pretty fucking far from okay. Thanks for bloody asking. Are you happy, Agent Donbury? I don't... Wait. You changed the words. Are you happy, Agent Donbury? What kind of question is that? He was always extremely reclusive. Didn't really have anyone else close to him either. That's part of why he worked so much. That scared him. It's pity, maybe? I don't understand. Are you happy, Agent Donbury? We aren't ugly with each other. Are you happy, Agent Donbury?
Wow.
No, I'm not. Nobody happy joins the Foundation. I don't know. I thought maybe I'd be able to help the world. Do my part. Make my life mean something. Don't know how much of a difference I actually made. They certainly didn't value me. In the end, I may as well have just been a D class. Just another stick for them to poke you with. Terrible. Thanks, buddy. Anyway, that's my sob story. What's it got to do with you? Most of why I do it is because I wanted to live my own life. The half of it. I could do better. Oh. Right then.
Wow.
That answers the last bit. You want to suck the remaining life out of me and take the rest of the life I would have lived. I know this sounds awful. I apologize. Shit. Why do you have to sound so reasonable about it? To be fair. Maybe it is. Maybe you should have the other half of my life. Goodness knows I've not much to show for what I've done with the front bit.
God, man.
How would that work?
Crazy.
Anyway. Relatively painless. Got a feeling you'd say that.
That's good, at least.
Still not sure I trust you. I mean, hell, would you even be giving me a say in all this if I hadn't locked myself where you can't get me? Did Gary Stone and all the others actually agree to have the life sucked out of them? I hope. Fuck.
Oh, God.
Look, this is insane. I don't know how much you know about the world, being whatever you are, but this is insane. Being a kid is like that sometimes, right?
Wow.
I got used to it after the first couple of years. You watched me growing up, didn't you? At least once a year. I assume that's when the magic happens, so to speak.
When they come visit.
Maybe you know more than I give you credit for. But humor me. How? I mean, what even is this? If it were just you, just a one-off break in the fabric of the universe, sure, but all these twins, all these people?
Right.
God. What? Christian God? No. I expect he was at home the whole time. There you are, being cheeky again. What God? God of gone. God of gone?
Death?
Using my name. Fair enough. Showed up uninvited. For whatever reason, it helps. It didn't help. We don't choose what haunts us. What he wanted. Hard been just her. You're not making sense.
No.
Hard been just her. Are you
I'm so
trying to say
confused,
Harbinger?
man.
Please don't mention it.
Oh.
If I'm being honest,
That's death.
scared.
Or something different.
Got it.
The one that has all of the different.
Must not be a coincidence that you can only quote the parts of the transcript with a name attached to it. And I wouldn't want to piss off anything that scares you either.
No. Absolutely not.
Please. There was a time window. I can't be gone again. Okay. Fuck. Okay.
Oh.
What should I do?
So you can't be going
Open
again.
the door. All
What
right.
if he doesn't?
We'll take this one step at a time, though. You hear me?
He convinces him.
I'm undoing the lock. What happens after? May 3rd. Testing. Testing. The rain
time
in
run out?
Spain falls mainly on the plain. Peter Piper picked a peck of rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Or is it
Dalek.
the twin?
Jaffa Cakes. Mr. Blobby of Crinkly Bottom. A vanishing twin is a situation wherein one of the fetuses inside of the womb dies and is either partially or completely reabsorbed.
Thank you for
In some instances,
clarifying all this.
called fetus papyraceous, the fetus is compressed into a flattened, parchment-like state.
I've never heard of that in my life.
The anomaly here is not literally the dead twin haunting the person every year on their birthday, but rather some sort of entity that latches on to these situations, representing the vanished twin.
Right.
It follows the living twin throughout their life, eventually killing them once they've reached half of their total lifespan, taking the other half for themselves.
Right.
Obviously, this isn't great for the people dying, but
No.
the entity claims that this is only fair. What's more, it seems to do this in order to avoid slipping into nothingness, as it greatly fears something called the Harbinger, the god of gone. Obviously, this connects with the other Harbinger SCPs, but the point remains that the entity feels that it's necessary to do this, and targets those that had a vanishing twin in order to remain fair. It's hard to say what exactly happened to Agent Donbury after he opened the door.
Right.
The voice heard on the recording seems to be his own, but perhaps he and the entity came to a different agreement rather than just him becoming a pile of empty skin.
That would be cool.
It's never an easy thing for a Foundation agent to knowingly walk into their death, but sometimes there just isn't much of an alternative.
True. Wow, that was something else, man. That was a deep journey into mystery. I love when stories keep you guessing like that and keep on asking. And the thought of that is just so weird. It's not death at all. It makes me want to dig deeper into these Harbinger SCPs and figure out what's going on. Man, this was so good, bro. Guys, make sure to subscribe to the Exploring series. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos and give me a like on the video. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time.